love the game. I love the hustle, man.
What's good? I go by the name of Stealth. This is the All Net No Ram podcast. This is episode number 8. Number 8, man. We are moving. Now, you may notice I am by myself today, man. My guys had some things going on, so they couldn't make it today. But I said it's NBA. Preseason starting today. Training camp's been open for the last few days. We got to get on here and make some content for you guys. Hopefully, this is the last time I have to do this dolo by myself. This is my first time actually doing a podcast by myself on this channel. I know in the past, like if you were like really like early on this channel, I used to do like commentary, stuff like that, but I've never done a full podcast just on my own. So we're going to do that today. Like I said, preseason has started. And I just wanted to kind of talk about some of these topics, just warm up for the NBA season, man. I think it's going to be a very exciting season. You know, all the trades, all the free agency, the drafts, everything that's happened during the offseason. Now we're going to see what comes of all of it. You know, everybody's had their predictions on how things are going to look. Teams are going to look, how rookies are going to look. These trades are going to look. We're going to talk about some of the big trades that happened a couple weeks ago. You know, a couple topics in, but definitely want to start with these Kings. But I just want to say, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We definitely appreciate it. Also, too, thank you guys. We just hit 300 subscribers. Hopefully one day we will hit 3K, but that's going to start with you watching this video right now. So if you have not subscribed, please hit that sub button, like the video, comment. It's free to sub on YouTube, man. Just go ahead, click the button, man. Click that red button, subscribe to us, man, and we're definitely going to appreciate that. You know, we feel like we're going to be hitting y'all with good content throughout the whole season. We kept it lit throughout the whole summer off season when there wasn't really any news going on. So we kept you guys with the content during the off season. So there's no reason to believe that we won't continue to do that during the NBA season. So please, 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 it goes a long way for the algorithm. It goes a long way for our morale, you know, working on this content for you guys. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like, comment. And my guys should be back next episode, man. Like I said, hopefully this is the only time I got to do this joint alone, but we could not go this week without getting some content up. I just couldn't do it. Right now, well, actually Minnesota just defeated Dallas in Abu Dhabi preseason game. So I'm kind of looking at that right now on NBA.com. Karl Anthony Towns had 20 points. He had 20 points in 17 minutes. He was balling. Naz Reid added 16. What did Luka do? Luka scored 25 points in the first 17 in 17 first half minutes. So limited minutes, but you know, guys just getting warmed up. But I'm glad to see basketball's back, man. On Saturday, October 7th, we have another Minnesota and Dallas. So if you guys want to check that out, I believe that will be on NBA TV, 12 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. And then we have the Lakers and Golden State preseason, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, 5:30 West Coast time on NBA TV. So we got some preseason games coming up, man. So yeah, so I'm going to get into this first topic real quick, man. We're going to talk about the Kings, the Sacramento Kings. You guys know that is our home base team on this channel. And, you know, I'm excited, man. You know, a couple weeks ago, we made a video talking about JaVale McGee being added to the team. And I was really interested to see his mentality, what he was going to say during media day. Right. So on media day, he made a couple good points, man. I'm glad we have this dude on our team. And this is why I wanted him on our team, because of the very points that he made at media day, basically saying that he's going to be a positive addition to this team and he's going to help us win. The theme of media day, I don't know if you guys saw like, you know, the interviews during on Monday, but the theme was winning, culture, a lot of things that Mike Brown was talking about, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, even new additions like McGee, Sasha. Everybody's talking about winning, right? And I love that because it's been so long since we've had that culture here in Sacramento. But some of the things that JaVale McGee was talking about that he's going to bring to the team is his confidence. He says he's a shot blocker. I'm 7 foot, athletic, agile veteran. I'm a 3-time champ. I'm Olympic gold medalist, and I know how to win. I love that, man. Like, I love the confidence. First of all, I love that resume being added to our team this year. We need it. We need guys who know how to win, who've been around winning cultures, been in winning locker rooms on this team, right? And that's what he said. He said, I know how to win. And one of the things that he said that I really liked was he has a history of bringing the teams together, like when he said that, what I was thinking was locker room, keeping the morale up. If there's issues, maybe he's kind of the guy that kind of brings people together, as far as talking it out, working it out, maybe being like the liaison between coaching staff and players. Sometimes there's a lot of miscommunication between coaching staff and players about minutes. Why am I not playing? Or why did you take me out? Or, and guys just kind of just stick to themselves. Maybe he's used to kind of being around. He's been in the league for a long time. So I feel like he can definitely, when he said that, I was like, I like that, because we need that in the locker. We need good locker room guys. And not saying we don't already, because we do, but the fact that he's a winner and he's been around winning teams, like he said, being a 3-time champ, an Olympian, things like that, he knows what it looks like to win. And kind of going off, bouncing off of that, Mike Brown, some of the things that he said is, he wants to go from a good to a great team. Now, what does that look like when you think of good to a great team? Last year, we were good, right? Last year, the Kings were good. Won 48 games, got to the playoffs, went 7 games with the previous year's NBA champs. But what does good to great mean? When I think about that, I'm thinking about taking a jump, right? Building on what you already established the previous season. Now, the thing about it is we had a really good season, right? We had a really good season. We had 2 All-Stars. We made the playoffs, which is something that we haven't done either of in years, a very, very long time. 16 seasons, I believe. We had the longest drought of missing the playoffs here in the city in Sacramento for the Sacramento Kings. So I think it's safe to say, anybody could say, got a gnat in here. It's safe to say that we were a good team, right? But how do you go from good to being great? In my mind, when I think about that, I'm thinking consistency. But number one, I'm thinking defense, right? The Kings have never had a problem, even when they were bad, the previous season to last seasons beyond that. The Kings have never had issues scoring. They've never had issues scoring the ball. They have had issues defending the interior, and the perimeter defense hasn't been great either, but our interior defense was horrid, was terrible. And just buying in consistently to defense, right? I feel like that's what's going to help us take that next leap. That's how you go from good to great, is buying in on the defensive end. Again, we're going to be able to score with the best of them. Like, I don't think there's any team in the league that I can think of right now that I'm scared of when it comes to like, oh man, like they're going to outscore us. Like, no, like when you look top to bottom, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. When you look top to bottom, we have one of the deepest rosters in the league when it comes to scoring. And I don't even think that's arguable. Like, we have one of the deepest rosters in the league. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but defensively, man. And I know that's something Mike Brown wanted to focus on last year. And I remember this quote, I'm paraphrasing, but he was basically saying how he knows that he wants us to be a better defensive team, but he really couldn't focus on that last season. He was basically saying, let's lock in and focus on what we're good at, which is playing fast and scoring the ball, right? He said, and we'll work on defense throughout the season, and we'll continue to improve on that as the seasons progress, and we kind of stack up these seasons with him being our head coach. So I remember him saying that. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but I do remember that. And I think this is, with this being year 2 for Mike Brown, the focus is really going to be to improve defensively. It has to be, especially when, you kind of get that first taste of getting to the playoffs with this roster, having Steph Curry score 50 on you to close the series out. the emphasis has to be on the defensive end. So I feel like that's how you go from being good to great. He also said, we want to see if we can play faster. So that was a quote that I wrote down that was interesting to me. He said he wants to see if we can play faster. That, I don't know how he plans on doing that because the Kings play really, really fast last season. We were getting up and down that floor. We weren't, really in our half court offense too long. We wanted to score quickly, run quickly, move quickly, get off our screens and picks quickly, things like that. So the Kings were already a really, really fast team. He says he wants to play faster. I'm really interested to see what that's going to look like. He said everybody needs to be all in. And then he says something after that. He says they're ready to compete for a championship. Y'all, this culture has changed so much in the last 2 seasons. Like, I can't think of another team that's taking this leap of, what's the word? I guess confidence in who they are, what they've done, and what they plan to do. That word championship was thrown around a lot on Monday. Getting better, making deep runs, like talking about just winning culture. Like, you kind of heard that. Even Sasha, they were asking Sasha Venenkov about some things, and he was just talking about how when they were practicing and getting their scrimmages and things like that, how he's like, they could play with their eyes closed. He was like, they know the system, they're so locked in to what they do and what they've been doing. He's like, we have to catch up. And when he said we, he's talking about the new guys, the Sashas, the McGee's, Duarte, Jalen Noel, we just brought him into training camp, things like that. So he's talking about we have to play catch up because he's like, they're on it. And I love to hear that, man, like, because it lets me know that we have a system. It lets me know that we already have a system in play, that we're going to come in, and it lets me know that they know who they are as a team, as a coaching staff, as players. I love what I was hearing on Monday, man, from this team. Mike Brown talking about he wants to compete for a championship. I was like, whoa, like, for him to say that, it was like, it gave me a lot of excitement. I'm not gonna lie. I was already excited about this team coming into the season, but just looking at the roster, looking at the additions, and listening to what all the players were saying on Monday really let me know, like, oh yeah, like the narrative is changing in the city. The narrative is changing. This is now becoming a place that I feel like players are going to want to come and play. And we're establishing a culture, man. It starts from the ownership down. When Vivek first came in, I know we were losing, but now, we're working through it. He found a coach. We have a good group of players. I feel like we're one of the deepest teams in the league right now. Let's just talk about this roster a little bit. We have Sasha, of course, Malik Monk, JaVale McGee, Chris Duarte, Jalen Noel. I don't know if Jalen Noel is going to make the final roster. Of course, De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Sabonis, Kessler Edwards, Davion Mitchell, Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, Alex Lynn, Jeremy Lamb, Trey Lyles, Harrison Barnes, and Deontay Burton. I'm not sure when or where we picked him up. I missed that one, but Deontay Burton, it looks like he's played for the OKC Thunder prior to. So that's our roster coming into training camp. Some of these guys, I'm sure, might get cut and things like that, but for the most part, we know what we're looking like, man. And I'm excited, man. De'Aaron Fox, before I go on to the next topic, De'Aaron Fox was asked about Keegan Murray, and he seems really excited about him. He said he's going to take a huge leap. He says that he feels like he's ready to, to take on that next challenge of becoming a better player than he was. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, somebody's calling me right now. Distracted me. I got my ringer off. I'm getting like 4 or 5 phone calls like back to back right now as I'm trying to shoot this podcast. But anyway, so yeah, Keegan Murray, that's one of the guys I'm definitely excited about. I feel like he could be an all-star. Sky's the limit for Keegan. So I'm excited. I really hope that we feature him a little more on the offensive end, because what I noticed during the playoffs, things got kind of stagnant. Especially when De'Aaron Fox got hurt and then they just got in Sabonis' head sagging off him. He just was not himself offensively. I don't foresee that happening again, but just in case it does, we need Keegan to have that confidence and be like, you know what, I'm that dude. Like, give me the rock. I'll get us a bucket. I'll go score 20 to 22, 23, 24, 5 points if I have to. You know what I mean? So definitely excited about him. Davion Mitchell, I'm curious to see how he's going to look this year. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at Davion Mitchell's game, but I feel like if you're going to be the backup point guard, I need your playmaking skills to improve, and I need your 3-point shot to get better. Because just coming in and being a defensive guy, I love that. You know, I love that for him. I love it for the team. But man, knock on wood, if De'Aaron Fox ever got hurt, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I hope that doesn't happen, but things, guys get nicks and knacks. Hopefully nothing serious ever happens, because if it did, we would need the Davions to step up, the Keon Ellises to possibly step up, the Jordan Fords to possibly step up. We need that solid backup point guard to be a playmaker and score. Now, none of these guys have the athletic. None of these guys are De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox really is probably arguably top 5 point guard in the league. And I don't know if he's number 5, but so you can't just come in and replace that. And you do have Malik Monk and things like that. He can also play point, but I'm really interested to see the Davion progression. If he's just kind of coming in, going to be the same player, just kind of defense, okay, 3-point shot, here and there, he might give you a spark of athleticism, in transition and things like that. But I want him to take that next leap. Solidify yourself as that backup point guard, you know what I mean, for the Sacramento Kings. We'll kind of talk about that later on when my guys are back. I know Teddy White, he was saying that he believes in Davion Mitchell taking a leap and getting better. I'm very interested to see what he means by that, and as far as how much of a leap he's going to take. So, I'm excited, man. Sacramento Kings are back. When is the first preseason game? It has to be, let's look here. The first Sacramento, all right, so Sunday. All right, so we got the Toronto Raptors on Sunday, October 8th. That will be up here in Northern California, NBC Sports California, and League Pass. And it's also going to be on the radio, Sacktown Sports 1140. And then next Wednesday, we have the Lakers, October 11th. And then preseason just kind of going on from there. Warriors twice, Jazz twice, Warriors again, and then the Lakers. The Warriors opening night. So that's going to be the opening game for the Kings. Friday, October 27th, I believe that is that's opening night for the Kings. So let me know what you guys think about the Sacramento Kings. How are we going to look? Let me know what you guys thought about media day, what players were saying, what coaches were saying. Do you feel like the Kings will take a leap? Will they kind of just remain the same? If you do feel like they'll take a leap, or you feel like if you feel like they're going to get better, things like that, what are going to be the keys to that? What does that look like for you? Like I said, I feel like it's going to be on the defensive end, because we don't really have a problem scoring the basketball. So to me, I think it's going to be on the defensive end. I'm excited to see it, and things like that. Starting lineups, I want to talk about this on another podcast too. I meant to touch on it today, but I did not get a chance get around to it. The starting lineup, I feel, possibly might be some tweaks here and there. It may not be right away at the beginning of the season, but keep your eye on the starting lineup, man, because I feel like there's some guys on that bench who, depending on who you're playing or depending on how the season's going, they might find their way into the starting lineup, man. So we're going to talk about that at a later date. Now we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks, as you guys know, they traded for Dame Lillard, which was last week, I believe. And so everybody's talking about that they're the favorite to come out of the East. And I think anybody, if they are the favorite to come out of the East, they're going to be tough to beat for anybody coming out of the West. Drew Holiday, he was traded. He was packaged up in that trade. He went to Portland, but I believe they traded him over. I don't know if that was a trade or free agents. Yeah, they traded him to Boston. So now Boston has a team now that I feel like can compete with Milwaukee. When you got Porzingis, you got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and now you have Drew Holiday. You still got Al Horford. Now they did let Robert Williams go, so that makes him a little thin up front. But like I was telling somebody who was kind of like, oh, well, they give a Robert Williams this and that. I'm like, well, the dude was always hurt. You know what I'm saying? And like, let's be honest, like he really didn't show up too much in that series against the Heat, which is one of the reasons why they lost to the Heat. So I'm not sure how much they gave up for that. I mean, I would trade Drew Holiday for Robert Williams if we're just talking about what you're giving up and for what you're gaining. I would have did that too. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like the Bucks, they're gonna be tough to beat, man. You know, the East is tough. You know, like I said, you do have Boston. You still have Philly. James Harden just showed up for training camp. I don't know if he's gonna be there. They're saying he wants to be traded to the Clippers. We'll see how that goes. But you still have Philly for now. Boston, Milwaukee, the Heat. They're kind of scrappy, but they really lost players. They lost Max Strus. They lost Gabe Vincent to the Lakers. Strus went to the Cavaliers. Two players that help you, you know, kind of progress to the playoffs and get to the NBA Finals. You no longer have, but they do have Tyler Hero returning, so that should help them as well. But you know, when you look at those three juggernauts with the Bucks, Philly, and the Celtics, I just don't see the Heat competing. You know, cool story for them to make that run, but to me, that wasn't a typical, like, put it like this. In my mind, I looked at it like if you ran those series back, if you just ran that whole run back against when they played Milwaukee, the Knicks, and when they played Boston, if you think about it, I don't think they were favorites in any of those series to win. I know Milwaukee was a favorite. The Knicks might have been a toss-up, but to me, I feel like the Knicks had a better roster. And Boston, I for sure don't think anybody had the heat over Boston going into that series. If we were in a whole nother universe and we were able to simulate that whole playoff run again, I don't think the Heat would win. You know, out of 10 times, they might win one time. And that's the one time that they actually did win and get to the finals. So that's just my personal opinion. But the East is tough, man. I am very interested to see how Dame and Giannis are going to work together. A lot of pick and roll stuff. But the thing about that is, you know, Giannis is going to be rolling because he's not going to be fading. He can't really shoot the three like that. So, you know, where they're going to be tough is in transition with Giannis running the floor, Dame being able to pull up from three, you know, and he could take it to the rack. You still got Middleton. You still got Brook Lopez. Both of those guys could shoot the three. They did have to give up Grayson Allen, who was a good defender, good three-point shooter, but you still got Pat Connaughton, I believe, who could shoot the three. I don't know who they brought in for training camp, if anybody, but I think the Bucks are going to be okay. You know, they did lose a little bit of depth, but I think they're going to be okay. I could see this being a collision course with the Boston Celtics and the Bucks, honestly. Both teams got better. With the Celtics, a lot of it is dependent upon how Porzingis looks. If he stays healthy and he looks like any semblance of the Kristaps Porzingis that we've come to, I guess, know, for lack of a better word, they should be pretty good, man. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I don't know what happened to those dudes in the playoffs, man. In that last Eastern Conference Finals. I just feel like, I don't know, man, they disappeared some of those games. They looked really good at points, and they looked really bad at others, and they lost to the Heat. But it should be interesting, man. I'm excited. Drew Holiday is really going to help them, perimeter defender, and he can score. So he's going to help the Celtics. They have two players who they did not have in the Eastern Conference Finals, you know, against the Heat, which is Porzingis, and they have Drew Holiday now. So that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna look really good. I'm just, excited about this NBA season, man. James Harden, though, as far as Philly, if he does get traded, depending on who Philadelphia gets, I don't really see any moves that they can make or any players that they can get that could compete with those other two teams. I know there was a time to where they were talking about a 3-way trade with at the time when Dame was over in Portland, and they were talking about Zach LaVine possibly kind of swapping, maybe going to Philly or Portland. But now that Portland's kind of set, what they have going on, maybe Philly can kind of like revisit that. Like, yo, let's get a guy like Zach LaVine. Maybe Chicago might be a destination for James Harden. I really don't see any other team that's going to want him or need him for that matter. But yeah, so the Eastern Conference is shaping up to look really, really different this coming season. I'm excited about that. So we'll see how that all turns out, man. Dame was now with the Bucks, and Drew Holiday with Boston, man. It's crazy, man, how things have changed in just a week or two. Kind of could change the whole landscape of a conference, or predictions and, odds to who's gets in the finals and things like that. We are going to do a podcast on our predictions, our NBA season predictions. We have a couple of weeks until the season starts, so we're definitely going to knock that out here soon. We're gonna get that done before the season starts. The season doesn't start till like what, the 26th, 7th. Today's the 5th as I'm recording this, so we'll definitely get to that. So my next topic, we got LeBron. All right, so LeBron James. I was telling my boys that I feel like this may be LeBron James' last season. The reason I say that is because this is what, year 21 for him, I believe. He's getting older. I don't know how much longer he can, I don't want to say carry the Lakers, but if you think about it, it kind of has been that way. When Anthony Davis always hurt and LeBron showed out, I believe that last game in the first half, I think he scored like 30 points in their elimination game against the Denver Nuggets, but they didn't get much from Anthony Davis, and I don't know how much longer he can do that. I know he always talked about playing with Bronny, but the unfortunate situation with Bronny having a heart attack this past summer, there's no telling what things are going to look like for him this season. Now, they are saying he's going to play, but the thing about it is, how much is he going to play? Are they going to have to like kind of taper off his minutes a little bit? And then how will that affect his draft stock? Because I mean, to get drafted, to get into the league, you got to go hard. You got to be a good player. You can't just be out there and be like, oh, I'm Bronny, go out there, shoot a couple times and just, all right, I'm going to the league now. It's not going to work like that. Excuse me. It's not going to work like that for him. So he has to be productive, for the USC Trojans in order to get drafted. I'm not really sure how the season is going to look for him. He might not even start playing until like mid-season. And unless you come out going crazy and you have like a crazy March Madness run or something, I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the league the next season. So that means LeBron would have to hold up, for this season. And then if Bronny has to play 2 seasons, he has to play a whole nother season. And then, so that means he won't play until after that. I don't know if that's going to happen, man. So the Bronny thing, I know that's kind of been keeping him motivated, but then I'm thinking, what if they go into the playoffs and lose again, right? What if they lose first round? What if it happens to where like they're fighting for a play-in spot again, how they did, you know what I mean? Like, what if it happens to where they just, the only scenario I feel like LeBron will come back for another season after this one is if they got to the finals and, whether win or lose. I feel like if he gets to the finals, he'll be like, okay, I'm right there to get that last one, to get that one more, But if they lose first, second round, or if they're a play-in team or something like that, and Bronny has to play another season at USC, that means what? Bron's going to be playing, 23 seasons? Just to try to make it to play with his son? I don't know. You got to think. he was talking last year after they lost to the Nuggets about possibly contemplating retirement, right? And I think that was serious talk. A lot of people were like, he's just trying to get attention. You know, I know my man, the coach for the Denver Nuggets, I cannot think of his name, Mike Malone, he was kind of poking fun at him, talking about like, oh, LeBron did that basically to kind of like, you know, pull attention away from the NBA Finals, pull attention away from the Nuggets, and bring it back to him, you know. And I really don't think that's what it was. I could be naive in saying that, but I know a lot of people don't like LeBron, so they probably agree with Mike Malone. But to me, I don't feel like that was the case. I feel like he was really considering retiring. Getting swept in the Western Conference Finals, you're probably in his mind, how many more times, how many more chances, for one, do I have to get back here? For two, how much energy and effort and how much grind do I want to go through to get back to this point? You know what I mean? You know, and again, the Bronny thing hadn't even happened at that point. So all of that, and like I said, if Bronny doesn't make it, you know, to where he's able to declare for the NBA draft for whatever reasons, you know, and if LeBron loses, if he loses in a bad way, is he going to want to come back? I don't know. I know he's been, I think he's been doing like one year contracts and things like that. Maybe he can go to another team. I don't know. Maybe he'll go back to Cleveland, Miami. I don't know. I just don't know where he would go if he left the Lakers. But in my mind, nobody has said this. He hasn't said it. I think that this can potentially, I think it's a strong possibility that this is LeBron James' final season. That's just my prediction. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that real quick. I haven't heard anybody talk about this, say it or nothing like that. That's just what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can come back to this channel, come back to this video if I'm right and be like, yo, Stealth got it, man. He called it, you know. But the only reason why I say he might not is because I could see LeBron wanting like that farewell tour. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how Kobe got and things like that, like announcing, like, you know, having the whole, I hate to say it because I'm kind of contradicting myself because I said I feel like he didn't announce his potential retirement for attention, but I feel like he would want that attention of the farewell tour, of all the interviews, all the media, you know, the craze to try to get, you know, when he's going to different cities, for everybody try to get that ticket to go see LeBron one last time. Like, I feel like that would just be a huge thing for his brand. So he has not announced that. That's the only thing I'm like, but maybe, you know, maybe he'll surprise us all. Maybe he doesn't want that, you know. I know he said he felt like he made a mistake when he did the decision to go to Miami. Maybe he's looking back on that like, you know what, that was a bad decision. Maybe he's looking at this as something like his moving on to the next phase of his life outside of basketball as something he doesn't want to bring a whole bunch of attention to until he knows. Maybe he really doesn't know. Who knows? But he has to be thinking about it. Like, when you're in year 21, you have to be thinking about like, okay, like this could possibly be it. I feel like right now at this point, every season for him he has to have that thought of, all right, this might be it, you know? So my prediction is this could be his last NBA season. Last topic I have for today is USA basketball. Now, everybody knows that we lost in the FIBA tournament. We did not get the gold medal, #1 spot in that tournament. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like, when they started losing, I just stopped paying attention. I don't even know who won. So Germany won, Serbia was 2, Canada was 3, USA was 4. So we didn't even get top 3, right? And so there was a lot of disappointment around that, from fans to media to other NBA players who did not play on that team, on this specific team this past summer, right? So recently, Joel Embiid said he is going to play for the Olympic team next year, right? Also committed already is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant says I'm playing. So I think the USA is taking a little bit of pride back in wanting to be known as having the best players in the world. Even though Joel Embiid is not American born, he is an American citizen. Cameroon is not not going to be in the Olympic tournament. You know what I mean? And so I know they were saying he's also a citizen in France. I didn't know that. He's also a citizen in France. So, but he's choosing to play for the USA team, and we got Kevin Durant. I know they were asking Steph Curry recently on Media Day if he was thinking about playing for the Olympic team. I forgot his response, but I believe he's probably going to play. I could see LeBron doing that as well. Another reason, I was like, okay, you're going to go play a whole season and then go to the Olympics and then come back a whole other. I don't know. But I could see LeBron playing, especially if Curry plays, Durant plays. I could definitely see LeBron joining that team. So I don't know. We don't know how that team's going to look yet, but we know we got two really good players in Embiid and Durant. I don't know, man. I feel like the rest of the world is catching up. When I was watching some of those games, and again, we did not have our best players. Don't get me wrong, but when I was watching some of those games, I'm like, yo, like these teams, man, it don't look like how it did in the 90s and the early 2000s. Like, man, like when we were just running through teams and, and things like that, the world has been catching up, man. And if you think about it, a lot of the best players in our NBA league right now are foreign, like especially the centers. Like who are our American centers, American born centers, centers, centers. You know what I mean? Right now, I mean, Gobert, Jokic, Embiid, those guys, they're all, born in other countries and things like that. Giannis, he's not American. Luka's not American. A lot of our better players are not American born. You know what I mean? So the world in general is catching up. There's more players from where these guys are from. Like I said, us being Kings fans on this channel, we got Sasha Venenkov. He was an MVP for his league. So he's coming over here. I think he's going to be one of the better shooters in the league coming up. Don't be surprised if you catch him in a 3-point contest. So I don't know, man. We'll see how it looks. I feel like if the team rounds out, I'm sure like the Bookers, we'll probably get like the Devin Bookers, maybe like the ADs. If we get guys like that, I'm pretty sure we're going to win. It's going to be hard to beat that type of team. If we're able to bring all of our best players and be like, all right, let's go win this gold medal. Jason Tatum's, I'm sure he'll be back, so I think the guys are going to rally the troops. We're all going to get together, man. We're going to win this gold medal in the Olympics. But, the FIBA tournament was, it was a little disappointing, man. The FIBA Basketball World Cup, not to get top 3. It's like, man, like, whoa. Germany, Serbia, and Canada, man, respectively, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, man, we'll see how that looks. That's coming up already next year. And I know, like, for me, I was like, man, didn't we just play the Olympics? But that was 2021 because 2020 was, the pandemic. So yeah, it is a short little window, or 3 years is shorter than the 4 that we normally get for the Olympics. But we're coming back, man, next year. And we're going to see how this USA basketball team looks, man. But we have a whole NBA season to play before that. And I'm excited about it, man. We're going to come back next week. Hopefully my guys, be ready to rock, be ready to work. Doughboy, he's had computer issues and things like that. Teddy White, he's had, some things he's had to take care of. But, even me, I've been busy myself, but I was like, yo, I want to get some content up for you guys. So, hopefully this wasn't too just different for you guys. I just wanted to get on here and kind of talk some hoops and get ready for this season, man. We're going to have more things to talk about next week. I definitely want to do a season prediction. Like we can go down divisions, conference, who we think is going to come out of each conference and who's going to win the championship, man. We got to do our early, you got to do your predictions, man. You got to do it before the season starts. This is how it goes, man. Because if you do it when the season starts, Now you're kind of like, you kind of have some things to look at, now you got to make your predictions now. So we're going to do that. I also want to do an NBA tier list of who we feel like is S tier, A tier, B tier, and so forth. Cause I feel like some guys are rated a little low in the league. Some, not rated high enough, some rated too high. So I want to do that. I feel like that's going to be some fun content. So those two things I definitely want to do with my guys before the season starts. So we got more content coming for you guys, man. Stay tuned. Stay up with us. Definitely, if you watch this podcast, man, this is podcast number 8, All Net No Rim. I definitely appreciate you tapping in. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It definitely goes a long way, man. We just hit 300 subscribers. We were grinding this summer, man. We were grinding this summer. Now we did have this channel before, but we picked back up like right around playoff time, and we went through the NBA finals and we went through the summer. We didn't really go hard at all during the season of last season. So this is going to be really exciting for this channel because we feel like now it's going to be a lot of attention on the NBA, a lot of attention on NBA news, topics, things like that. So we're going to go hard for you guys all season long. So again, hit that bell, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be hitting y'all with content. I did almost an hour of talking, or 45 minutes of talking with no water. I am thirsty right now, but definitely appreciate you guys watching this, man. Please, again, help us. You know what? I'm going to set a goal. I want to get to 500 subscribers in the next, I want to be realistic. Let's say 2 months. If we can get to 500 subs in 2 months, then we're going to set another milestone. But we want to hit that 1,000, man. We feel like, we're hitting y'all with the good content, man. Just continue to rock with us. Please sub. And I will be back along with my boys next podcast, man. All Net No Rim, episode number 8. Let's go, man. Tap in.